So as you can see, we are down a sister. Everybody go message her. Send her hate. A lot of hate. Why did she leave us? What was the point?
Yeah.
So our theme this time around is
Could you be more energetic?
Welcome to my channel, Harmonica channel. It's October by the time I posted this. Happy Halloween, everybody. Everybody be safe. Don't go trick-or-treating. We're in a pandemic. Is that better?
Are you okay?
Is that how you want me to do it? Okay, but our theme for this one is dolls.
Annabelle.
This one is from Angelica.
I farted a little. Excuse the mess in the background. We're reorganizing the room.
My name is Angelica and I live in Long Beach, California. When I was 7, I slept over at my aunt's house. She had a roommate. At the time, I had to sleep on the couch with this kid my aunt was taking care of. In the middle of the night, I was woken up by this little boy and girl who were pitch black. I asked them who they were and they didn't answer. They just pointed to the kitchen. When I looked, I saw a woman with a black wedding dress on looking at me. She told me to come over. At that moment, I was scared and the kid my aunt took care of was sleeping on the other couch. I ran to him and started to shake him and call to him, but he wouldn't wake up. So I started running to my aunt's room and I felt like the lady was coming after me. So I started to run, but the hallway felt so long. I reached the door. I started kicking and banging on it. She didn't answer. I felt the lady come closer and closer, and then my aunt's roommate heard me knock on my aunt's door. So he came out, knocked one time, and my aunt woke up, opened the door, and let me sleep with her. However, when I woke up, I was on the couch, not in my aunt's bed. My aunt's roommate told my mom that he saw me sitting up and pointing at the kitchen with pitch black eyes. A few years later, my aunt's roommate moved out and my uncle, aunt, and my cousins moved in. I went to go visit them and asked my cousin William if he had seen the lady in black. He said yes, that she left him a doll and it was moving all over the kitchen. Since then, when I talk about the lady, I feel evil feelings at the door.
To be honest, if I saw my kid like that, I think I would kill them.
Nelly, somebody's gonna call CPS in 10 years. Your kid's gonna be 7 years old. Somebody's gonna send them this clip that I'm putting up.
Why are you giving them ideas? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even have thought about that.
So, screen record this clip and then send it to
First of all, I said if my kid did that, it would be
So what even happened? You know when you read?
No.
You read like a whole page and then you don't know what happened? I do that when I'm driving.
Why do you read while you're driving?
This one says, you can call me if I'm in a video. If not, just do whatever you want. Let's call him Peter.
First of all, I literally live for your channel. Thanks for existing. The second more recent story isn't really a ghost or alien story, but I am thoroughly confused on what is going on.
Okay, this one was interesting, I remember. So I've always been able to hear things at night, including things such as footsteps going down the hallway next to my room, and just general movement in my house. Nobody in my family believed me because they thought I was just imagining things. I've always known it wasn't my imagination because it was always too clear. The noises always sounded like babies or dolls running around outside my house. This all lasted from when I was about 4 to 10 years old, and it gave me insomnia to the point where I would just sit under the covers and basically suffocate myself to sleep. So they heard baby footsteps. But after I was 10, the noises pretty much stopped. At about 11 years old, my closet doors were being a little sketch. They would open in the middle of the night. Also, I'm scared of the dark, so I always left my closet closed because it was oddly dark compared to the rest of my room. But the story comes to a climax with when I think I was possessed or something like that. I was sleeping in my sister's room on the floor because I wanted to hang with her friend. So we were all asleep, and then I guess I just got up with all my blankets and pillows and left back to my room. That's what they said. I never woke up. I also never cleaned because I'm not about to waste my time making my bed when I could easily just sleep in a messy bed and not feel bad about waking up in a messy bed. When I woke up, my room was spotless, very unusual.
Why are you complaining?
And my bed was perfectly made. Also, when I sleep, I move around like crazy. So the fact that my bed was perfect means that I wasn't even moving when I slept. Disclaimer, before we moved into the house, it was a known
It was known as a sex
worker house. I'm not gonna put this in. Or not what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, don't put work.
Once a month, I lose track of about 3 hours, from 9:15 to 12 a.m. And when I come back to it, I feel like I had just been electrocuted. My whole body jerks right when I realize. I went randonauting a few weeks ago with a friend. We chose to go somewhere with a memory. We ended up going down a road I had never even known existed, and I saw a house. The house was from a dream I had the night before. In the dream, I was stuck outside the house in one spot, watching sex traffickers take girls and boys in and out of the house. So when I saw it in real life, I almost passed out. I'm not ready to be trafficked, so I was like, let's just get some food. But ever since then, things that have been familiar seem to be changing. Lyrics to songs I knew from heart have been changing, with entire verses being added or deleted between listens. Houses have literally disappeared from driving routes I drive regularly. I also have not felt right at all. My sleep is whack and I'm always sick to my stomach. But I've always felt uneasy about my life. My gut has never been wrong about things, and I've never been able to see myself living past 16 or 17. I feel that the things disappearing and changing are a sign that I'm nearing something big.
Brothel? Broth?
I really hope this is the right email, or someone really just got a random email with some boiling tea. Anyways, your videos are actually my crack, so thank you. Thank you for this story.
Like, you ever have a day where you feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna die today? Have you ever felt like that? No? I don't know.
They're living in a simulation.
I think they're in a whole other simulation and they're just sending us that.
And their email has reached me. And then my existence, those houses and those songs exist as they are. And he comes in and out from that dimension to this dimension.
The other dimension of him cleaned his room. Like the other version of him cleaned his room.
I'm scared.
That's so scary. We just found out your diagnosis.
You're welcome. Hello, my name is Anelli. I'm a new subscriber, but thought I would share my story with you. When I was younger, we had a sleepover. My prima was 6 and I was 9. She was a bedwetter, so nobody wanted to sleep with her.
I would be mad as if you wrote that in a story with thousands of people.
I can relate though.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done already. I already wiped my...
She's 21 though, and she pees her pants in front of everybody in videos.
I'm 21, thank you.
Oh, I'm 26. Sorry, guys.
But she would always complain she felt lonely and scared, so I agreed to sleep with her as long as she doesn't wet the bed. I'm sorry, we've all been there. I wet myself. I'm barely starting to go into a deep sleep when she wakes up and says, Anelli, I need to pee, can you please take me? I understood and got up to take her. The hallway was long and it didn't have lights. We lived in the poor side and had to use candles sometimes for light. We finally make it into the bathroom and I tell her that I'm going to be outside waiting for her. I walk a little to see the moon outside the side window on the wall and I hear Amelia say, Anelli, look. And I'm confused because it's coming from the other room. I get some courage and head into the room. She says, I'm scared. Help me open the closet. And I told her, Amelia, why are you in there? And she replied with, I'm stuck in here. Grandma put me here. I start laughing, thinking it was a joke, and said, shut up. Stop playing around. Grandma's gonna wake up and get mad at both of us. Come on, let's go. The moon does this weird thing where the light shows a little bit of the room, and I see Amelia's eye look at me through a crack in the closet. I get scared and start walking towards her, now knowing she wasn't playing around. As I start to untie the closet, it had a string holding it together. I hear Amelia start crying from the restroom and I get freaked out. She starts running and I quietly walk out of the room, grab her, and tell her to shut up or we are going to die. She lets out a tear and says, I told you there's someone in the closet. We run into the room of my grandma, telling her what we saw, and she played it off. The next morning, my mom called and I cried telling her my story. She quickly picked us up and asked us if we saw her. I didn't believe she had seen her too. My mom begins to tell us a story that when she was younger, my grandma collected dolls from the streets. And before she moved away, my grandma got a doll who looked like her. She would carry it everywhere. While she was visiting, she stayed in the room where we stayed and claimed that the doll would cry for help because it was dark in the closet and my grandma wouldn't let her leave. My mom told my grandma, but she said she's never heard anything in her house and still has the doll to this day.
What the fuck? Y'all mean as for not sleeping with her. You guys could have put like a little pamper on her.
You know a ShamWow?
I bet you wish you had that list. I'd be pissed.
If you guys see something in the background, don't even tell me because I can't sleep. Because that face is stuck in my head.
2:55.
So I recorded this at 3 a.m. I was trying to see whether or not the balloons would move because my mom had mentioned that it happened to her. But after posting this in the new video, I got a bunch of messages pointing out the face. When I posted it in a community post on YouTube, people pointed out several faces that they see in the window. Let me know what you guys see and if you can debunk it because I can't sleep.
That's not okay. Go.
I'm not gonna judge you, okay? Because
I am gonna judge you for like everything that happened was karma. So I don't feel bad for you. Don't put that in at all. I judge.
when I was 9 or 10, I went to Mexico during summer to visit my grandma. When we got to my grandma's house, I noticed a doll sitting next to the TV in the living room. I got a strange vibe from that doll, and I loved dolls when I was young, but I just didn't like that doll at all. I asked my grandma where she got the doll, and she said the doll was given to her by a friend. The next morning, my older sister pulled me aside and told me what had happened to her. She said she heard light knocking on our bedroom door and light running steps. She told me she didn't think it was our nephew, but she thinks it was the doll who was doing that. We decided to tell our mom about it, so we went to the kitchen, and our aunt was there. Our kitchen door didn't have a door, but instead a curtain. We told our mom what had happened, and my aunt told us that she never liked the doll, and that weird stuff always happened when that doll came. As soon as she said that, the curtain moved, but not like it moved by itself. It looked like someone ran past it, but nobody was there. When we were all in the living room, my mom was telling our grandma what had happened to us, and when we told her, she got all defensive about it. She told us that the doll didn't do anything, to leave her alone. I told her that the doll was really ugly and creepy, and she got really mad at me for saying that. Later that morning, I woke up sick, like really sick. I had to go to the doctors, and my sister kept seeing stuff in the house, or she felt like as if someone was watching her when she was sleeping. My mom said she wanted to burn the doll, and all of my aunts and uncles agreed to doing it. Everybody agreed except my grandma. She kept saying that it's a pretty doll, and that she didn't want them to burn the doll, but my mom didn't listen to her, and later that night, we all went to go burn it. First, we decided to cut it to make it easier to burn. When they were putting the knife in her, the knife bent, and it looked as though it didn't even go through, like nothing has ever touched it. My uncle told them to just burn it as a whole. The doll was lit on fire, and you could hear screams from it, as if somebody was screaming for help. The next morning, my sickness went away, and my sister didn't hear anything or felt as if somebody was watching her. My mom till this day thinks that my grandma had a possessed doll, and that somebody gave it to my grandma out of jealousy because she was considered rich in Mexico.
Su dueña la compró hace más de 40 años y, según dicen, camina sola y hasta se acerca a la ventana para mirar a los vecinos.
Con nosotros la movemos y todo, y la muñeca no quiere caminar. Y la mueve ella, y con ella sí camina.
La historia comenzó hace 42 años en Saltillo, Coahuila, cuando decidió comprarla porque algo en la muñeca llamó poderosamente su atención.
So people have been calling this video a hoax and claiming that there's some type of mechanic that allows the doll to move when she walks a certain way. And many of the witnesses just say like, oh, you had to be there. But the connection the woman has with this doll is very real. Similar to people who own duendes or like those Reborn dolls. They treat them like living human children, as they should. Because some people treat dolls like children to cope with a loss. Maybe they have no kids at home anymore. So just be nicer to your grandma and her little doll. Because some grandmas have dolls. My grandma has gambling.
Bitch, you said I couldn't get mad at me! I'm fine.
Just don't be jealous.
You're dead? Just wake up.
Hi Monica, this is my second story I sent to you. This one is about my great aunt who was a witch. My grandma told me this story many years ago, and it's definitely one of the most interesting ones that she's told me. My grandma had a tia who supposedly was a bruja and knew how to do brujeria. La bruja loved my grandma and liked having her around, but my grandma was terrified of her. My grandma was maybe around 10 at the time. My grandma, her siblings, her parents, and la bruja all lived together. Everyone in that house knew not to mess with la bruja's things. No one ever went into her room without her permission, until one day when la bruja was out, one of my grandma's little brothers, he was around 5, went into her room. He found her voodoo dolls who had pins poked into them. He started taking all the little pins out of each doll. Later that day, when la bruja got home, she saw the mess my grandma's brother made, and she was infuriated. She asked everyone in that house who went into her room, and no one said a word. She then locked herself in her room for the rest of the night. The very next morning, my grandma woke up to her mother crying. She was very confused and concerned. Later on, they explained to my grandma and her siblings that their little brother had passed away during his sleep. Not only did he pass away, but when my grandma's parents found him, he had 2 deep holes on the bottom of his foot, and his body looked extremely pale. They speculated that something sucked all of his blood from his foot. My grandma's parents also noticed how la bruja was nowhere to be found. She and all of her belongings were gone. No one ever saw la bruja ever again. You can't say that! Is that your sweat?
No, it's my tears.
That is so scary. That's don't be doing that. Don't do that. Damn, bro. Stop.
That's it?
You want me to read another one?
No, it's okay. Thank you guys for sending in your stories. They were very scary, and I don't know how I'm gonna sleep.
What the hell are you doing?
That's because I was trying to see if they gave me a clown in my drink.
What the fuck are you talking about? Listen to me right now. If you are over the age of 18 and you are not registered to vote, I will fight you. Settle for Biden. Go vote. Oh, thank you for watching the video. And that's it. Oh, thank you for your patience too. And I know this video is really short and I'm very sorry.